One 49ers underrated superstar just got great news, and I'm excited to tell you about it in this video. Hit subscribe if you're looking for daily 49ers content, but I got a question for you today. The question is simple. Who are you most excited about on this defense heading into this upcoming season? Comment below who you're most excited about, just like you wish every single test was in high school. This question has no wrong answers. Some of my favorite comments on this channel have been from you guys just talking about players that you're just hyped about or situations that you're hyped about coming into the season. I mean, what is the point of the offseason if we aren't going to get hyped about some of the great things that are happening around your favorite football team? Who are you hyped on right now? For me, I'm going to go with Nick Bosa right now. And I know that my answer could literally change by the end of this episode, but I am super optimistic about what Nick Bosa can do, not just under his own right, obviously, but then on top of Nick Bosa's own potential, own skills, own development, etc. You have many people believing, by the way, Bryce Huff is the best pass rushing talent Bosa has had opposite of him. So that has its own benefit there on third downs, especially. The team spent a lot of draft capital this year trying to put together a run stuffing defense, which is going to help the pass rush for sure. And the team putting that much energy into stopping the run was more than just the defensive line. Nick Martin, Upton Stout. There are other guys that the 49ers drafted that have really high run defense grades. So there's a lot there. Of course, you've got Mykel Williams as your edge setter, as your run stuffer on the outside. And then, of course, monsters like Alfred Collins. You have CJ West as well, who has violent hands. So there's a lot of excitement just in the draft itself around what this team is going to look like. A lot of people were really high on YGM, Yetur Gross-Matos, joining the 49ers last year. So it's going to be interesting to see this upcoming season if he takes a step up with the availability of being able to be more of a versatile player, being able to play within his skill sets and not have to be the guy, which it felt like last year there were definitely sections of the season where we were just asking him to try and be the guy and get after it. So we'll have to wait and see, of course, but that's who I'm hyped on right now. Let me know in the comments who you're really hyped around. I already mentioned, like, you ask me tomorrow, I might literally change my mind because I'm hyped on a lot of guys right now, like this guy. Deommodore Lenoir was picked as Nick Tice's top 4 low-key MVPs. Before we can even talk about this, we should at least clarify, what does he mean by low-key MVP? So I went ahead and pulled the article up so we could make sure we understood what the heck he's talking about. NFL players who do some in-between things and have more of an impact on their team's success than first meets the eye. So we're talking about players that people are not talking about enough, that people are not respecting the name, remembering the name as much as they should. And Deommodore Lenoir has to be one of those guys. Like, I don't know if maybe if anybody on the anybody on the 49ers roster, maybe he's that guy that you're like, you are not saying this guy's name enough. And Deommodore Lenoir, I'm really, really optimistic about his upcoming season. And we should be. All of us should be. And I'll tell you several reasons why in this video, why you should be hyped on the Deommodore Lenoir, getting this recognition. But first, let's talk about what he actually said. Nick Tice said this, but Lenoir has turned into one of the best defenders in the National Football League at the critical slot defender position, with the versatility to still be a strong starting quarterback on the outside when needed, which might end up being what he does most of the season. So we'll have to wait and see. Lenoir finished 2024 with 5 tackles for loss against the run, tied for second among slot defenders, and 9 passes defended, ranking 5th, as well as a 63.6 QB rating when he was the closest defender targeted, 4th best among slot defenders last season. He's a tough, explosive, smart player who helps makes throwing between the numbers against the 49ers a risky adventure for quarterbacks, with all-pro linebacker Fred Warner also nearby. The 49ers, I mean, no offense to Devondre Campbell, but the 49ers by default are going to have upgraded at that position. Devondre did some things well, but most things not so well. And we definitely paid for a lot more than we received from De'Vondre Campbell. I was really excited about De'Vondre Campbell coming into the offseason, but you're seeing improvements in other aspects of the roster, hopefully. D. Winters, all he needs, as I've told you before, is a little step up to be a much more valuable linebacker for the 49ers. You have Nick Martin, who a lot of people are saying is a genuine shot at starting this year. So there's a lot of movement taking place on this defense. This defense as a whole is going to get better. That's only going to help, it's going to help all the players to have a guy like Robert Saleh with clear, solid leadership, clear defensive scheme. There's going to be a benefit for everybody, no doubt. And Deommodore Lenoir is no exception to that rule. The 49ers have been trying to add more beef to their front seven this offseason, but Lenoir has been an impact player in Santa Clara and could take another step forward as the 49ers continue to transform their defense. And now, when we talk about transforming the defense and Deommodore Lenoir, what the 49ers have done in, I think it was November 12th. I actually have a date somewhere around here. So it'll be on the screen at some point. So I think it's November 12th, though, that the 49ers made that decision to sign Deommodore Lenoir to that massive extension. And that move tells you everything you need to know about what the 49ers believe about Demo going forward and how they're building the defense. And, Fred Warner's another example, of course, of a guy who gets a deal done pretty far in advance, not quite as far in advance, or more further in advance than Deommodore Lenoir, but still, you get the point that I'm making here. You've got the 49ers making investments into a couple key players on the defensive side of the ball, and they're getting this stuff done early for a good reason. Okay, we have not even talked about Robert Saleh and Deommodore Lenoir, so keep that in the back of your mind. There's still a huge possibility here that we're seeing the best of Deommodore Lenoir last season was also limited and hindered by Nick Sorensen. Again, no offense, but that defense was not very good. It does not help a slot corner when you don't have anybody around you who is great in coverage. De'Vondre Campbell, sorry, I'm calling you out, but he was not great in coverage. He looked slow in coverage. He looked like he couldn't recover very well, and that puts guys like Fred Warner and Deommodore Lenoir, when they're in a nickel package, like in different positions, right? It puts them in a tighter position in terms of what they're trying to do to help out the rest of the team. Demo is an absolute stud. I think he's going to benefit from having Robert Saleh at the helm. I think there's a lot of benefit there just in terms of the rest of the defense being a solid core and making everybody's jobs just that much more defined and that much clearer. I think that's a good thing for Deommodore Lenoir going forward. But then you add to that this picture, if you don't recognize it, you should recognize it. This is Demo's play against the Arizona Cardinals. I happened to be there at that game, one of the hottest games ever. It was so stinking hot. I think it was the hottest game ever recorded in Santa Clara, if I'm not mistaken. But Demo has that great, was it a scoop and score? Yeah. But the point that I want to make is we have this opportunity for Demo to go from like moments like that could be more regular. They could be less surprising, right? And I think about a team that I can't help but smile as I'm thinking about this. There's for those of you guys that are like multi-sport athletes, multi-sport fans like me, there's a soccer term that I remember hearing, like where they talk about like a defender who has an attacker or an offensive player like in their pocket. And this idea of like, yeah, like he couldn't even get out of their pocket. He couldn't do anything. He couldn't be successful. That defender absolutely owned him, right? Something like that. So I went ahead and I took a Seahawks logo and we threw it in there and just put it inside Demo's pocket, because although we will not have the opportunity, unfortunately, to see DK Metcalf this season and see Deommodore Lenoir absolutely shut him down again like he did last time, we could at least remember that he also pretty much was good against anybody on the Seattle Seahawks, and he totally owned the Seattle Seahawks. So that is exciting, and what a fun way to kick off the season this year against the Seattle Seahawks for a guy like Demo, who Demo is one of those guys, I don't know for sure, but this is my take on it. Like, I feel like Demo is one of those guys who is talk a big game and back it up, and then talk a bigger game and then back it up. And that's like part of his motivation. The guy showed up for off-season training earlier than almost anybody. I mean, he's the first social media post in my mind. It's the first one I can remember seeing of a player in the offseason in the Bay Area, training in Santa Clara. He's the first person I can picture in my mind. I could be wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong. That's fine. But he was there very early, which is the main point. And so Demo has all of the motivation in the world. He has all of the drive, all of the energy in the world, and he's going to get his opportunity to eat this year because he's hopefully, if everything's going the way that I think it's going, our defense is going to look way better, and it's going to help him out massively. And we have the Seahawks week 1 for Demo to go out there and remind everybody why they should know his name. I mentioned the financial side of things. Niners, of course, what day was that? Yep, November 12th. November 12th, 2024, the 49ers, extending Deommodore Lenoir to a 5-year, $92 million extension. I think it was something around $40 million guaranteed, if I'm not mistaken. And this is the 49ers saying, we value this guy. Now, there are a lot of people who believe Nick Martin is going to become the starting corner or starting nickel slot corner. And so if we have Nick Martin in the nickel corner position, then that puts Deommodore Lenoir in just a straight up corner, and he would be a lockdown corner. Like in my mind, it's not even a question mark. So he's going to get some respect to his name. And I love Nick Tice's top 4 low key MVPs because he's most definitely one of those players who had many wonderful moments last season. Pass breakups, interceptions, you name it. He had a great season, and he absolutely deserved every dollar that he got from the 49ers. I'm hyped on that. Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, appreciate you guys. We're 2 days away from mandatory minicamp, which is going to be a blast with 2 full days of, two days in a row of getting footage of the players, getting to see a little bit more. Hopefully, Fred Warner was during the last open practice was not training, and so hopefully we get to see him. It would be really nice to get eyes on guys a little bit more, get some interviews, all that good stuff, and we'll be breaking down all of that on this channel. So make sure you don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on all the action. Appreciate you guys, and hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your weekend.